And here we go, wrestling fans. This is Dutch Savage, Championship USA Wrestling. My co-host tonight is the infamous and world-famous disaster area from Johannesburg, Africa, none other than Colonel De Beers. Colonel, we've got quite a card on hand tonight, and let's go up to our ring announcer, Sandy Barr.
In the blue corner, makes his home in Gresham. He weighs 278 pounds. Dane the Body Beautiful Rush. His opponent in the red corner makes his home in Portland. He weighs 290 pounds. Ritchie Magnett.
Well, exactly what were they comparing there, Mr. Savage, when they said Dane the Body against Ritchie Magnett? Were they comparing those two bodies?
I think they were comparing height and width.
I believe so.
Ritchie Magnett from Oregon, all 272 pounds of him. One of the ring veterans here on Championship USA Wrestling, Ritchie Magnett. Don't take him lightly because he looks rather huge and out of shape. This man has been around for a long time. You can testify to that, can you?
Oh, yes, I can. You can't sell Ritchie Magnett short in any form whatsoever, because just when you think you got him, he's dangerous.
Yes, he is. Big Dane Rush. Big Dane Rush. They're pretty well evenly matched in weight, but the height advantage is definitely to Big Dane Rush. Colonel De Beers, I understand you just came back from a triumphant tour elsewhere, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
Oh, feeling very well about myself, Dutch. You know, whenever I go on tour, the throngs come out to see me. You know, it's just like the resurrection.
Just like the resurrection?
You bet.
I see. All right, there's Dane Rush taking his opponent over. He's got a figure four-arm bar. Ritchie Magnett takes him away with a head scissors.
And you know, those short legs of Ritchie Magnett, there's a tremendous amount of power there.
Well, he's got to lift a lot of weight to get around the ring on. They've got to be extremely strong.
You bet they are.
You're watching Championship USA Wrestling, in case you just tune in, fans. Don't forget, every Saturday night, right after the Late Show, 2 a.m. Sunday morning, you can watch Coin 6, Channel 6, KOIN TV for Championship USA Wrestling. If you don't want to stay up that late, set your VCRs. We'll be glad to have you on board as a fan. Any of you people out there wanting to know if you're on our mailing list, all you have to do is send your name and address to Championship USA Wrestling, Post Office Box 17202, Portland, Oregon, 97217. I'll try that once again. You want to get on our mailing list? Championship Wrestling USA, Post Office Box 17202, Portland, Oregon, 97217. Or you can call 503-289-4222. 503-289-4222. You on that list, Colonel De Beers?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm not. I've got my own mailing list. It's only for whites only.
Oh, brother. Are you prejudiced, Colonel De Beers?
No, you know as well as I do that South Africa now has equal government.
I see. Back to the ring on that point. Big Dane Rush and Ritchie Magnett here. We're opening with Dane Rush and Ritchie Magnett. In case you're interested, if you're not a fan of Championship USA Wrestling, you will be in the near future. Dane Rush in the multicolored tights with his back to the camera. Now his face is to it. That's Dane Rush.
You know, so far, Dutch, the pace has been slow here. I think that both these men have been feeling each other out. Nobody's really been the real aggressor. Now Dane Rush is opening up just a little bit. I think he feels like he might have Ritchie Magnett right now.
Hard elbow to the side of Magnett's face by Big Dane Rush. He's going to try for an arm whip. Ring center, tries for a back body drop. Magnett goes over and takes all 270 pounds.
I tell you what, for a big boy, he came right on over and hooked that sunset flip.
He takes a kick in the stomach for his trouble right now. That sunset flip almost worked for Mr. Magnett.
Yes, it did.
Oh, we got a huge card on tap tonight. Iron Mike Roselli is here. Jesse the Body Barr is here. Big Jess is here, one half of the World Tag Team Championship. One of my favorites that I've watched.
Is that me you're going to talk about, Dutch? Your favorites, Colonel De Beers?
Well, one of my favorites, Colonel De Beers. Also, Carl Pope, who I've watched since his amateur days when he was younger, is now a professional from Portland State University. Big Carl Pope's on the card tonight. And as a matter of fact, I understand he's wrestling you, Colonel DeBeers.
That's right. We're going to see just how well a Portland State amateur does against Colonel DeBeers once and for all. You know, I asked the people last week to write in, and, you know, more or less it's kind of like Save the Popester Foundation, because... And do you realize that there was over 4,000 letters written to Sandy Barr not to put Carl Pope in the ring with the Colonel?
Get out of here.
No.
Really?
It's true. It's true.
Well, I'm going to have to check on that. That's an awful lot of mail there, Colonel DeBeers.
Well, it is, but that's nothing compared to what I receive personally each week, you know.
Dane Rush has a reverse chin lock on Ritchie Magnett's ring center. In case you're just tuning in, you're going to be seeing us here at the Marshall Center every Saturday night during the month of July. July 15th, July 22nd, July 29th, right here at the Marshall Center. Matches start at 8:45 p.m. Come on down and watch yourself on TV later on during the evening. Marshall Center, Vancouver, Washington, right next to Clark College.
Right now, he's got Ritchie Magnett at somewhat of a disadvantage. He's doing what the smart thing is, and that's using that height to an advantage, getting behind him and using that height.
You know, I heard someone comment today about these lights for this color television. These lights, the amperage on these lights are phenomenal. The ring center generally is about 120 degrees right on the mat.
Right.
Takes a lot out of a human being.
Oh, yeah. Well, not if you're in shape. See, I never had to resort to going to the rope there like Dane Rush is. He's tired. He didn't want to fight anymore, so he got to the ropes, which was strategic, I suppose, for somebody that is gutless. But
boy, you're really on with it tonight, aren't you, Colonel?
No, it's true. You've never seen me use the ropes to break a hold. You do it the old-fashioned way, scientifically.
Well, I'd let you get away with that, but I'm going to go back up to the ring here, and I'll comment on that a little later on. Dane Rush. He's got one of Ritchie Magnett's leg hooked. Turning that ankle, working on it.
Now, the problem I see with Dane Rush is he's going to various body parts. He's trying to find a weak one, and I don't believe that Ritchie Magnett has got weak legs. You can look at those tree trunks, and
he is a huge man. You're going to see a fellow around the ring in a striped shirt with a baseball cap on. He's from Wrestling News USA. You're going to be seeing some of these matches in the magazine, Wrestling News USA, in the very near future, so be watching for him.
Ritchie Magnett tried to get out of the way there, but just a little bit late. See, Ritchie was quite an amateur, too. You notice his first move is not up, but it's to the side to avoid that pin.
Yeah, I would say so. There's an arm whip by Dane Rush. Magnett comes off the rope, ducks under a forearm.
Whoa!
Clothesline. The big man from Oregon clotheslines Big Dane Rush. Takes him down to the mat. Rush comes up swinging, misses his opponent. Nobody home. Right hand by Magnett. Left hand by Magnett. The ring veteran has Dane Rush reeling. Yep. There's an arm whip by Ritchie Magnett. In for a back body drop. Dane Rush in a huge world of trouble right now. Magnett having his way with him. Yeah, he gets him with an elbow. Rush's head snaps to the mat as he hits it. Ritchie Magnett, small package, takes him over for a
270 pounds of small package.
I thought we had him. I thought we had a winner there, Colonel DeBeers.
I did too. Tell you, Ritchie Magnett reminds me a lot of the Funk Brothers, only at 270 pounds. A lot of Dickie Murdoch in him, too.
For you fans that are wondering who the Funk Brothers were and who Dickie Murdoch is, out here on the West Coast, they were young men from Texas. Dory and Terry Funk both were at one time world heavyweight champions. Dickie Murdoch, I don't know whether he ever made the world championship single, but I do know that he was the world tag team championship, had it at one time, one half of it at least. They were two great wrestlers, the Funk Brothers, as was Murdoch. I can remember when I was a young man, I was going to the ring several times. Ritchie Murdoch was just a kid of 17 years old going to Amarillo High School. Later went on to West Texas State University. He used to get autographs from us. And turned out to be a phenomenal professional wrestler.
And still is today.
Ritchie Magnett has Dane Rush reverse chin locks. Got him down the mat right where he wants him. Putting that big body on him. Wearing him down. Dane Rush wondering what in the world happened to him. This man I should be able to beat real quickly. He looks like he's out of shape, but we told you, folks, Ritchie Magnett is not out of shape. He's just huge.
No, the word is that Ritchie's a real heavy weightlifter, power lifter, and still does quite a bit of road work, even with that girth.
I'm amazed that he's got 17 years in the business, and he gets around pretty good for a man his size, and as many years as he's been taking these pummelings, he's still in phenomenal condition.
If you look at his record, I don't know that he's had a major injury in all those years, to tell you the truth. That's, just that low, compact body structure has protected him from a lot of injuries that people that are taller like Dane Rush are going to suffer from.
Well, I'll have to agree with you on that, Colonel De Beers. Folks, you're listening to a man who is a professional's professional, Colonel De Beers. He knows more about wrestling than probably any man we have on the card here tonight. Oh, there's a huge knee by Ritchie Magnett.
That's at West Texas coming out in Ritchie Magnett. I tell you what, he watched a lot of those Funk Brothers matches.
There's a single leg trip by Dane Rush, puts Magnett back. Magnett gets up. They're struggling against one another center ring. Big Dane Rush throws a boot wrap. Magnett throws two in return. Bulldogged him. Didn't get much of a run at him.
No, he didn't. No, Dane Rush was pretty smart there. He beat him to it. He beat him down. He didn't get to use all the full force of that 270 pounds on him. Dane Rush was smart. He must have known what was coming because he beat him to the mat.
Oh, there's a short 5-inch shot to the nose of Dane Rush by Ritchie Magnett.
He couldn't stop that one. And you ain't going to stop that amateur souffle there either.
There's a side souffle by Ritchie Magnett trying for a pin. Rush kicks out again. Magnett says, stay down. Gets rake across the face. The bell is rung. We have a time limit draw. We have a time limit draw, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Dutch, it's been an interesting match, but I've got to go mentally prepare for Pope. I might even be so good as to say a little prayer for him before I go into the ring tonight, because what I'm going to do to the man, I do not want to be responsible for.
Well, I'll take your word for it, but as far as praying for him, I don't think I've ever seen you pray. Well, we're going to wrap this up here while you go get mentally prepared and do your little prayer in the dressing room.
Well, there is a South African God, and the rest of you are dismissed.
Oh, brother. You heard it, folks. Colonel De Beers. And this is Dutch Savage. And this is Championship USA Wrestling. The best in the West. Often imitated, never duplicated. We'll be right back after these messages. Wrestling fans, for fan mail, the address is Championship Wrestling. Post Office Box 17202, Portland, Oregon 97.